Hey everybody, welcome back to YouAreEnough.life, the YouTube channel. I'm your host, Michael Lovett. This is episode number 3 of Do It Now. In the first episode, we talked about the importance of just leaning in and doing it now, pushing through. And that's easy to say, but what gets in the way when we don't want to push through and when our motivation is just off? It's not working. Last night, episode 2, I came to you live from this very same park, Milliken Park, where I think it's about to rain. I don't know. We'll see. Tonight, what I want to talk to you about is this idea that in order to maintain motivation, there are 4 big factors we can leverage when we are not feeling it, or 4 areas or muscle groups, if you will, of motivation that we can work. So muscle group number 1, we talked about last night, was having goals. All kinds of different goals, all kinds of ways of approaching goals. But certainly we don't want to dive into a task list or a bunch of things that we feel obligated to do and then find ourselves either we spent too much time on the wrong thing or we lost motivation because it's really not aligned to our goals. So tonight I want to talk to you about factor number 2. In maintaining motivation, you can always leverage social collaboration, working with other people, collaboration, however you want to call it. When we do things together, we bond and we get a double, triple advantage. Number 1, we get the thing done and probably with a higher quality because of the opinions and perspectives of other people. Number 2, motivation that is motivated by social collaboration is great because there's an aspect of solidifying either what you're doing or what you're learning by using a partner. And then if we're in a larger group, we can share what we've learned from the experience out to the larger group of people that have a similar interest. So let's say you want to learn how to adopt the skill of mountain biking. Great to go do that one-on-one with somebody, and then you get to the end of the ride and you share what you learned on the ride. But if you are in a group, an online group or a physical in-person group of people that loved mountain biking, you might really find yourself enjoying a conversation about how you're growing, or in a conversation about a skill you want to master. So going back to what your goals are, going back to collaboration, and then tomorrow we'll talk about choice and we'll talk about interesting texts or tasks. When we leverage these 4 things, we unlock more motivation, and that's the whole goal. Motivation is largely free. We just have to be mindful, and we have to work hard to maintain motivation. So if it's using goals, we have to work hard to keep our goals in mind. If it's using collaboration, we have to work hard to build, establish, and maintain collaboration in real time. And of course, sometimes the limiting factor on choice is that we don't get to have a bunch of choices all the time. And with that 4th level of motivation, we don't always get to enjoy, how can I say it? We don't always get to enjoy that a task is innately interesting or motivating. So I'm not saying that you need to implement or leverage all 4 of these motivating factors all the time. I'm just sharing this with you under the banner of Do It Now. So great, that's an easy pat answer to say do it now. What's harder is to talk more about leaning into the things that motivate us. I'll be right back after this. But now it's time to actually collaborate. It's time to actually do the work. And that is much easier said than done because everybody brings a different lens to collaboration. So this is where the work comes in. We think it's as simple as, oh, I'm just going to collaborate. I'm just going to call some friends. We're going to work on it together. It's going to be great. The problem is now you're working with other egocentric humans, and they don't all look at their role. They don't all look at the goal. They do not all look at their relationship to you the same way you look at all those factors. So when it's time to collaborate, it's really important to get clear. This is where project management skills come in. And I don't want to make this sound overly complex. The fact is, there are some things that are bugging you and you need to get after them. You're not going to stay after them and see them through if you don't think through these 4 factors of motivation. Your goals, social collaboration, the choices you have, and the level of interestingness of the task. We're just working on this second one today, social collaboration. It is very easy to call up some friends that you care about and that you're friends with, but now when it's time to get after something or do something, it can be entirely disruptive to your friendship and to the job you're trying to accomplish. So what I want to ask you to do is just think about whose job is each job. Are you going to divide it? You're going to measure it out. Are you hiring someone? Are you asking someone? Are you calling in a favor? It's really important. And then be clear. Be exactly crystal clear on what done looks like. Brené Brown talks about this in her book, The Atlas of the Heart. I will link it in the description. You have to paint done. You have to paint a complete picture of what every aspect of what you're asking them to do would look like. And so the wisdom of this is it's very hard to collaborate, and that's why it's so special. That's how you know the goal is important, is because it is worth pushing through all the ego and all the difficulty collaborating to get clear on what is it going to look like when it's all done. And are you truly sharing this project, or is it your project and in essence your collaborators are working under your guidance and they kind of answer to you? It's your project and they're lending their help or you're paying them to do it. No matter what, it is so important to be vulnerable and to be clear on what does it look like when it's all done in terms of timeline, cost, how much do they have to work with, what happens if it doesn't get done, and what is the intended impact of getting it done. These can be very motivating, and they can actually build motivation on motivation. If, however, you do not take the time to paint done, you're going to tick off a lot of people, maybe lose some friends, and you're going to be utterly frustrated. And you're going to say, see, this is why I didn't want to do this task. I knew it would be hard. And we don't want that. We don't want to fulfill negative expectations. We want to really make it a joy to collaborate with us. So I think that's about enough for today. I really want to encourage you to look at Atlas of the Heart by Brené Brown. Look at that part about painting done. Think about how motivating it is to share a victory or to share an adventure. Some tasks are small, like, hey, kids, we're going to clean up your bedroom today. Or, hey, 6, 7, 8, 9-year-old son, daughter, I'm going to teach you how to do laundry today. It could be kind of small on that level, or it could be, hey, we're going to start a nonprofit and I've been meaning to do this. You have to get clear on your vision, but you've probably already done that if you've leaned into the previous episode about goals. And this is all a work in progress. I want to remind you that you are enough and that you have people that love you and that God loves you. And so you don't have to work at this from a scarcity point of view. I would encourage you to work at it from I may not like it, but I know I'm going to feel very satisfied on the other side of it point of view. So thanks again for tuning in. Please do the 4 or 5 things: the bell, subscribe, comment, like this video. It'll just help more people to think about wisdom and hopefully to live a little better. We want to promote more good in the world. So that's why I'm asking you to subscribe, like, share, comment. Please do that. I hope you have a great rest of your day wherever you are, and I hope you comment and that we might get to connect. If you want a coaching conversation, there's also a link to that on my website and in the show notes. Thanks so much for tuning in.